Welcome to another handy lesson. In today's video, we're going to talk about connectivism, which is the newest learning theory. So let's start and take a look at it. We're going to talk about the definition of connectivism theory, its basic principles, the different ways of learning through connectivism, and of course, the roles of actors and the paradigm. First of all, we need to talk about the authors of connectivism. So they were George Siemens and Stephen Downes, mainly. So these two authors state that connectivism is a learning theory that recognizes the evolution that we have gone through in the aspect of education and the way that internet has helped to learn and to increase knowledge. Stephen Downes has a very popular theory called the learning through chaos, and George Siemens wrote a book called Knowing Knowledge. Both theories and books have complemented the main theory, which is called connectivism. The principles in connectivism are: first of all, we need to understand that connectivism resides on internet and technological platforms. Therefore, learning happens through the social interaction with different people from around the world through internet. So this is basically a new way of social constructivism, but using technology. Therefore, the diversity of opinions based on different cultures and different ways of thinking creates learning and enriches the way that we learn and we grow our knowledge. So diversity of opinions is necessary for this paradigm. In connectivism, we use platforms, we use mobile phones, we use all kinds of technological resources. And every single point or node, we can call it, following an analogy of a motherboard, physical motherboard, in which the circuit is connected through little spots, and they are called nodes. So in connectivism, we create a network of knowledge where every point, every resource becomes a node of knowledge. So a video can be a node of knowledge, the platform, or any resource, or a person through a video lesson. Every single of these features becomes a node of knowledge. In connectivism, non-human sources are the main use or the main source of information, meaning internet, web browsers, and anything that we can use to read, maybe electronically reading, or any other electronic device. In connectivism, the person or the learner needs to understand that knowledge is continuously changing. And, of course, we go to the next point. We need then to nurture and maintain connections. So we need to get up to date with new information and develop this critical thinking to compare information from one source to another and get to conclusions. So this is the ability to find connections between ideas and concepts all around the different vast pool of sources. Therefore, in connectivism, it is more important to develop the ability to obtain accurate and up-to-date information about any topic. When this happens, or when we look for information in the internet, we're looking up some information, we're trying to solve a problem. If you've ever watched a TV series or any documentary in which they're giving you information and then you immediately go and look up on your mobile phone to make sure that the information you're receiving is true, well, what you're doing there is solving a problem and you're making a decision. So in this way, you are creating learning. Learning is happening in your brain when you do this type of activities, because you are receiving information and then you're just confirming that the information is accurate. If it is not, then you might look up for other sources of information in order to come up to conclusions. You are solving a problem of trying to find out if something is true or not. And then you come to grow your knowledge in the end. In connectivism, we can have synchronic or asynchronic sessions, meaning that you could have pre-recorded lessons which you can watch at any moment that you have under your own timing. Therefore, one of the main abilities that this paradigm requires is the way of organizing your time, organizing your tasks, and have a good control of your time. So you can, and of course, you can have you can develop, or you must develop, a good discipline habit to study and to grow your knowledge. One last principle in connectivism is that one must develop the ability to shift realities. What does that mean? It means that according to what we see for the future to come and how the world is going to be changing, there are many things that are happening now that will be transformed and maybe eradicated in the near future. Therefore, what we live today is not what we're going to be living in 3 or 5 years from now, because technology is going to give us lots of resources and it's going to transform the way that we live reality today. Therefore, we need to develop the ability to adapt to different realities with the use of new technologies. Of course, knowledge is going to be changing or is going to be growing, so we need to get adapted to that. In connectivism, we have 3 different modes of learning. We have the classical e-learning, which basically means learning through any kind of electronic device. That is why it's called electronic learning. But we also have the way that is called B-learning, which stands for blended learning, which means a kind of hybrid way of taking lessons. Meaning, some of the lessons you're going to take on site or maybe in real-time video sessions, but the other half or the other part of your lessons are pre-recorded so you can watch them at any moment. In this case, we have synchronic and asynchronic lessons at the same time, which makes a blended kind of learning. That is why it's called B-learning. And finally, we have M-learning, which stands for mobile learning, which means basically learn from any platform or app that you could have and carry with you on your mobile phone and any mobile device. Nowadays, there are many platforms and many options for you to learn. Some of them are for free, some others are paid, or some others offer a free version and a premium version, which is going to be paid with more features involved. Some of them are here in the image, so you can take a look at the different options and get benefit of all of them. The roles of actors in the connectivist paradigm. Usually, since behaviorism up to social constructivism, we have teacher, student, and institution. In connectivism, since we have nodes of knowledge, the teacher and the student may switch roles constantly, and they may play one or the other role. As the teacher is also a learner because he is constantly receiving information from online resources and technological resources, And the student may also become a teacher, which is more a guide than a teacher, because some students may be really good or experts at some areas that they could share with others through the social media. Therefore, the roles of teacher and students becomes switched, really easily switchable one with another. Okay, and finally, we have the institution, which also is eradicated and disappears from the physical facilities into the electronic platforms. So here we have platforms such as Blackboard, for example, or we have Control Academic, or we have, for example, Moodle or Edmodo, which are platforms that create or provide you with the environment to build a whole course there so students can enroll virtually and take their lessons there. So the institution becomes a platform, a virtual platform. Okay, so if you want to know more about Connectivism, you can click on the references here on your PDF. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you in the next one.